Morning all. Okay, let's have one or two 15-minute games today. Let's see how we're doing at the moment. 2195. It's been good recently. That bought, I think someone wanted them bought there, but there was a bit of luck with a server disconnection over the weekend and so on, but I'll sort of material up anyway. Let's have a look at title players. Bxf4 SM. So he's playing Gamma Drill on a 3-minute game. Okay. G5 F4. G5 is a bit radical. Okay. Holding up that A5 pawn for a moment. Those reasons are sort of after rook C3 takes, there's no check yet on C2. If this bishop moves, that might be in the future. Oh, that's good for protecting the pawn, yes. Preparing G5 maybe? Rook C4 here. Is that dangerous? Then maybe G5 later. This is real painful in this position. That pawn locking down, might restrained on B2. Okay, we got a game. BlueHorseshoe. BlueHorseshoe. King's Gambit. Again. No, a little bit more, I think, about this H4 line. I wonder if he's going to play G5 though. No. Okay. How's he been doing? He's been winning every single game recently. Hope not. Okay, there's some losses there. There's hope that this guy's beatable. Yep, I'll go for knight G5 takes F7. I know he's protecting the G4 pawn, but I'll do this as a sack anyway. So H6 or F6. F6, maybe just bishop F4 in that case. In case of F6, just get strong bishop on G5, Queen D2, knight C3, castle queenside. Okay. So the King's Gambit from the romantic era of chess. Can it be good for online blitz chess? That's the question. Forget what grandmasters play in FIDE time controls. The advantage of amateur chess is that we can have more fun, surely. So, especially with such restricted time controls anyway, which basically promote blunderful chess. So, the King's Gambit. Okay, he's prompting me for knight F7. I could try and win this G4 pawn if bishop C4 takes and queen G4. So bishop takes F4. Next, knight C3, queen D2, maybe castle queenside, so that this pawn isn't the problem. So that glare of the queen over there. So I want to get these bits out, get my king on the queen side. Oh, hang on, the recording error is a bit, I can get it a bit better, I think. A bit better again. Okay, I think that's better. Okay, so he's okay, shocked or something by the piece sack. So knight C3 next. What about queen F6? Is knight C3 playable? Takes. Rook F1, there's queen G3. Or maybe rook F7 would have been interesting. Queen f6, what about rook f1 threatens actually bishop e5, pinning, and then rook f6. Unless there's queen h4 there, g3, then I could get along with knight c3 after that. Maybe queen d3 and castle queenside. I think g3 to queen f6 is looks like an option as well. This pawn could be useful. Don't necessarily want to give it up. Or even, what about bishop g3 on queen f6? Okay. Okay, so now knight h5 and knight e4 is on the cards. If h5, knight e4, queen d3, I think there's d5. So I think I've got to protect and give up this h pawn. Okay. But he's moving a piece twice if he's going to do that. 3 times or something. Okay, queen d2 is traditionally a good diagonal. And e5, take, queen d1, rook d1. e5 just for bishop e5. Knight d7. If d5 happens, is it a big deal? I just take bishop d3. Yes, e5 take. Actually, knight d7 is bit queen g4. So that pin's quite useful. I'll go for that. Test this pin on f6. So knight d7 looks natural and strong, but queen g4. And of course, this bishop's cutting through the light square diagonal. Okay, we've got the pin. Got a threat of casting, maybe. Now, just with f6 in mind. Right. Bishop e7, say. Queen d3, knight d7. h5 is too slow to knight e5. So I need something quicker after bishop e7. Knight e4, knight d7. Castles. Ah, okay. I'm in trouble. Oh dear. Okay. Queen e2 here, take. Then rook d1 to follow. I think I'll try and castle queenside still. If I can castle queenside, I think it will be more promising. This position. King relatively safe. Rook f1 maybe on the cards, either rook to f1. If knight d7, actually I can maybe take. Okay. That looks still quite good now. Pressure on the d file. I think a rook f1 is in order. Maybe this one. Well, it's only supporting h5 and rook h4 potentially, but rook f1. Get this f6 pressure going. Okay. Do I need to support e5? I think, oh dear, I think I need to support e5 unfortunately. I can't see rook f1 working. Take. Nothing. I'll support e5. put me on the defensive. Knight d7, maybe bishop takes d6, queen takes d6. This h5 would be useful sometimes, but queen d3 and queen g6. What about just queen d3 threatening h5, takes, rook h1. Okay, he's opening up the d file, which could be handy. Maybe rook d6, I'm on h6 actually, there's queen d6. There's pin. Okay, what about e6 for queen e5, check. e6 looks quite tasty actually, we'll threaten now. Queen e5 checks, I think e6, is there anything stronger? I think e6 threatens queen g4. There's queen h4, queen g5 if he wants to try and get queens off somebody. This is the king move before the storm. King move. Queen g5, I can't get the king out to avoid queen g5s. There's g3 if he wants the bishop. Okay, so queen e5, knight f6. Sure, he's getting problems here. Knight e4. Maybe I could have done that there. Queen e5. If I just played the main inaccuracy, I think I might have done. Whoops. That would have probably ended the game. Queen e5. Just then. Oh, knight f6, knight e4 stops queen g5 check. So maybe that was a bit of a slow move, king b1. Queen, dear oh dear, check. If queen f6, queen h5. If knight f6, knight e4, and then another queen g5. In fact, there's a threat, rook f1, rook h1 or something, rook f1. Okay, so it's getting critical for black anyway. His queen's now protecting g4 and g5. In fact, on queen g5 there might be knight e4 anyway. I think black has problems here in any case. So queen e5 remains a strong threat, even though it's black's turn to do something about it. Queen g5, knight e4. Queen e5 could be a pain. Alright, check here. There's queen f6. Let's check on c7. Queen e7. Queen f4, rook e7, queen c8. And get a tempo. Queen c7 and queen f6. So queen e7, queen f4. Otherwise, okay, I think this is starting to be damaging now. If I play knight e4, what about knight e4 to d6? I'll be on e8 and c8. I will still be on f4. Knight e4 with tempo, it can't hit the bishop. Can't play queen e5. So two tempo gains could be quite destructive on that rook on e8 and c8. Knight e6 to d6 looks juicy. By the way, for those interested in the high-level King's Gambit games, there is, of course, the Nakamura win against Adams in the recent London Classic in the King's Gambit, but Nakamura had a terrible opening. So, but you know, it's still, he created complexity with it, even on FIDE time control. The fact that, you know, he beat someone over 2700 with it shows that it's not completely a losing opening. It's quite interesting. So, okay, so now go in for queen e5 without the possibility of queen f6. Okay. How about there's all sorts of juicy possibilities here. Rook h1 if the king goes on the h file, knight f6 if the king goes to g8, queen h8 if the king goes to f8. So knight f6 looks pretty tasty to me. Yep, his resigns 2-1-9-7, 2 points for that. So, King's Gambit strikes again with the old knight takes f7 this time. Pretty devastating stuff for Blitz. Very, very powerful weapon as an alternative to the Royal Paz. So no accident that Bronstein and Spassky, two of the greatest attacking players in the history of the game, often favoured the King's Gambit. Bronstein even played it when told not to, when Botvinnik, team captain, was against dodgy openings in Team Olympiads, etc. So, but King's Gambit here, great. Comments or questions on YouTube? Thanks very much.